If you let yourself wonder about them, or imagine how they might feel, that left you open. Your mind might start to pick up their voices, fill in the gaps, and understand their words. Curiosity might drag your gaze to them for one fatal glance. Milo knew all of this, but couldn't help himself. In the presence of the dead, his mind spiraled out of control, wondering, imagining, and painting pictures. Leif, on the other hand, was tall, strong, and unimaginative. He had been born on a calm day under a spring blue sky. And again, perhaps for him, all days were calm. He never seemed to lose his temper, even when he found himself in a fight. He would have made a good war horse, Milo sometimes thought, mild and unshakable, even as cannons thundered on all sides. As Leif left with the shoes, Milo stayed silent, and remained so for the next half hour. "Stop thinking about it," Milo's father said. But Milo couldn't stop thinking about the dead girl. He thought of her walking barefoot after Leif, unable to resist the pull of her shoes. He wondered if she still felt the cold. It was the mist, everyone agreed, that stopped the dead leaving the island of Merlank. In the rest of the world, people sloughed off their bodies like butterflies leaving cocoons, and their spirits invisibly departed. In Merlank, they lingered. Even the living sometimes found it hard not to listen to the mists, and their barely perceptible orchestra of almost sounds. But living ears had so many other things to listen to, such as the quiet sea of their own breathing, the warm drum of their own hearts, 1,000 little clicks and river rushes in their own softly alive bodies. The dead did not have such distractions. They heard everything the mist said, perhaps, and they lingered too long, and missed the moment when they should have departed. After a death, it was vital that the shoes of the dead be delivered to the ferryman as quickly as possible. If this was not done, then the shoes would soon disappear, claimed by their owner. Once the dead had their shoes, there was nothing to stop them roaming the island. They drifted across the island, sensed but seldom seen. They trod new paths through the crops and gouged the mud in riverbanks. They squeezed through fences, knocking the posts askew. They could not find what they sought, so they walked and walked, forming obsessive routes that crisscrossed each other. Wherever they walked, the grass slowly turned brown. The crops wilted, fruit withered, fish died. Even the sight of them could kill. Anyone unlucky enough to meet the dead face to face and look into their eyes sickened afterwards or died immediately. It was the task of the ferryman to help the wandering dead and take them to the island of the broken tower, the place from where they could move on. It was the only job of the ferryman, but an essential one, and everyone knew, though nobody said, that Milo's father could not do it forever. He was shorter of breath these days, shorter of speech, and even shorter of stature, with a stoop Milo didn't remember from his younger days. Everyone also knew that Leif would take over when the time came. Milo wasn't sure he would have wanted to be a ferryman anyway, but he hated not being able to help with anything important. It made him feel useless, the only member of the family too weak to carry his share of the weight. That evening, when sunset had dulled to a gammon-coloured stain, the Lord himself came calling, and demanded his daughter's shoes back. The bereaved sometimes did this when they weren't ready to say goodbye. Usually it was a child, though, or a distraught teenage love, not the Lord of Merlank in his robe, gold chains, and sealskin gloves. Milo watched through a window as his father and brother went out to meet the Lord. "There's been a mistake," the Lord said, with a tight smile that must have made his face ache. "My wife made a mistake. My daughter isn't dead, just very ill. I'll need her shoes back. They're her favourites." There is no